So you know what? Some good news. Not only has my mushrooms cleared up, like this is awesome, but I've also had a few sales at our mushroom shop. But I was really starting to wonder if this mushroom thing was going to last forever. But turns out, yeah, after it does the whole spore thing, it's pretty much done. Or so I hope. Now, I have some interesting plans for today's episode, and this is going to involve lights. And not just any lights, special lights that are generated by frogs pooping. You know what? That section sounded so much better in my head than it did just saying it out loud. But yes, we are going to be farming frog lights today. And I wanted to challenge myself with this, as I have not built a frog light farm ever before. But I will say that these frog lights are really good looking, and if we can farm all 3 different types of frog light variants, I think this will be pretty useful in people's builds. And I've already been told if I build the farm, they're definitely going to buy some. Me personally, I love the ochre frog lights. These things look so good. Yes, but back to that part where I have never built a frog light farm before. This is going to be a challenge because it's sort of a multi-step process, right? Not only do we have to build the farm, but we also have to get the different frogs and get them into the farm. And it requires multiple steps in the nether itself, because one way we can farm this is directly in the nether. However, we do have the ability to pull spawners into the overworld, which would allow us to technically farm it here. Currently, I am just not geared up to be diving into bastions and grabbing the one spawner that they may have. Instead, I'm going to be building this in the nether on the roof, mind you, and we're going to be going with a very much vanilla-esque sort of style farm. But we're going to have a little bit of create inspiration. Now, the way I was able to get up here is because there's already a massive hole that has been dug in the nether roof, which is kind of awesome. And I think Dio might have made that. Now, to build this farm, we need to be in a deltas biome. So I am in a basalt deltas, as if you couldn't tell from all the particles floating around and all of this fun stuff and the scary noises. And the first thing I really want to get set up is going to be the storage that we are going to ultimately use here. And I'm going to be using a white vault for this. So I'll just place in my vaults and get them just sort of laid out on the floor like this, all the way out to the end. And this is going to have the classic storage system, which I am an expert now at placing in because of the amount of times that I've done this. So this is going to pull from there. It's going to send into the barrel. This is going to pull from barrel, send back into the vault. And then we're going to have a stock link that's on this, a stock ticker link to the stock link. And then we're going to have a blaze burner. And then let's not forget the lever up at the top, and this right here is access to this vault. So I'll just lay some of this down, and this is going to be the face of our actual farm. Next, things are going to get a little bit different. We're going to have to go up about 2 blocks here, and I want to divide this up sort of evenly. And then on top of this, this is where the farm is going to sort of reside. And so I want to build out another set of vaults. However, this vault is going to be the middle section of this farm, and things are already looking fantastic, but this is where we need to get into the next section. So I also want to extend out another vault, and so this is where we're also going to have some chutes to be able to pull the items out. I don't think we'll ever need these, but they are good decoration, and this is how create is going to be very utilized for setting up this actual farm. The reason I need to do this is because the width of these vaults is actually the entire area that we are going to need for the base of the farm. Now, the crazy thing is I already have magma slime spawning on top of these vaults, but what I want to do now is take the top side of the vault, which is now the perfect size, and start to place in chutes that are going to cover the entire area. With the area covered, I'm going to lay out my logs and start to wrap this whole area around with these logs. With all of these aligned, the wand of symmetry is going to be very helpful for this next section. And so what I want to do is bring this up 2 blocks, and then we're just going to line this whole thing by 2 blocks with any material. As of right now, I'm just using weathered glass because I think it's going to look really nice. And by the way, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 9 in interior space. And this is going to be the width of the farm. Then what I want to do is line out our weathered iron, and this is going to go all around just like so. Something else that I need to do is start counting here, and this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 blocks out on all sides. And the same thing goes here. I'm going to just close this in, and we now have our spawning platforms. And yet again, using the wand of symmetry, I also want to go up a couple of blocks here. I think 3 blocks for this, just on the outer edge. Yeah, 3 blocks is going to be exactly what we need to do. And I've got to line the entire thing around all of these farming areas. Now with the walls aligned, I've got this set to mirror mode, and what we're going to do is place some blocks directly on top, just like so. And I do want to kind of clear this off the corner because we don't technically need that there, so we can save some blocks. And I'm going to need to outline this every 2 blocks. So it's going to go here. We skip 1, 2, which means we'll have another one that starts here, 1 line that starts here, and so on and so forth. And we just need to cover this up, and this is to help prevent gas from spawning. With the outside almost done, besides the spawning platforms themselves, which is just some solid blocks we need to place in, what I want to do now is get in the way that we're going to have them fall. So this is very interesting, but we need to place chains that are facing downwards. So I do want some blocks underneath to make this much easier to place in because, well, chains are kind of a pain when it comes to rotation direction. But getting all of these blocks placed in and the chains are made quite easy because we have access, well, to the wand of symmetry. So I just need to place all of these in like so, and then we can use our wrench to simply clear out all the weathered iron. This is exactly what I'm looking for, and it might actually be easier for me to just break them all, so that way all of the blocks just fall into the chute and fall into our storage. Now we need to build our killing chamber, which is going to kill the larger slimes, and it's going to just leave the small ones behind. And we're going to use iron golems for this. We could use some sort of slicing method by using a contraption, but I still think this is more optimal than using create, believe it or not. So to do this, we place a block directly in the center, and then we're going to need to surround this on the outside. And then I'm going to bring up some bars that are 2 block tall here. And so this leaves us with a nice little cage that we can put, for example, iron golems in. So let's go ahead and build another iron golem. I know we have one in our shop, but yeah, we build it. It gets dropped right here, and we do the exact same thing where we're going to place this right above it. And we really only need like 2 or so, and that should be more than enough. Let's get this completed. Oh boy. Another iron golem stacked on top of each other. Now with this setup, they're still not safe because we are going to have to protect them even more. And this is going to involve surrounding them with chains up at the top. They can still reach the mobs, but we are going to have to encase them in chains. And actually, it might be easy if I just use the wand here. This will make placing this chain thing in so much easier. Look at that. I mean, the whole thing is basically already done. It takes nothing at all to place these in. So this is almost the entire farm ready to go. I've just adapted a standard vanilla farm to create. And we do have to stand up in the air, but I don't want to do that just yet because I don't have my platforms in yet. And that's because I really want to get my frogs in before we get anything started. But you know what? We can sort of test this. If I grab one of these slimes here and I put it on top of this chain, I think we can place this or place it here, and we are no longer here and it can't see us. It should go after the iron golem, which is kind of interesting. It'll go towards the iron golem to try and damage it, and it'll end up getting punched. And then it'll turn into the small ones, which leads down into this bottom section. And this is where our frogs are going to do the work. By the way, for this farm, I will have a schematic for it over on the Discord, so definitely be sure to pick that up, as yeah, you can find it in the schematics channel. So I have the infrastructure of the Froglight farm built, but in my opinion, this isn't the hardest part. The hardest part is getting the frogs. And this is something that I've just recently learned. I didn't even know that the Froglights came from different frog types. I thought they were all just kind of random. But no, if you want all of the different Froglights, well, you're going to have to farm a frog for each light. And so I must set off for some different biomes. For example, one of the biomes, like a mangrove swamp, is a great place to get frogs. We can also get them from regular swamps, and technically you can get them from certain peak biomes. And this right here is a massive mangrove swamp. Okay, so this is perfect. Didn't take me too long to even find this thing, but the goal is to hopefully find frogs, which I've already heard the croaking. Aha, here's a frog. And so I've got a plan. I want to try and put them in a boat and pick them up. Like, we'll get them in the boat, but I want to see how many frogs can I stack on top of this frog. And that would allow me to bring multiple frogs home, because I should be able to lead the boat, right, to this? Is that frog technically on the other frog? Honestly, I can't tell. Can I put this frog on you and then push the boat into you? I don't know if we can have... Yeah, it looks like that frog is on this boat. Yeah, I think this works. I think it's just, it looks really odd, even though they are technically stacked on top of each other. And there's another froggy. Yes, we're just going to take this, place it right on inside. Let's see, can I stack it on this frog? Oh, yes, we can. You know what? I think 8 frogs is going to be perfect for right now. Now, the way that I plan on getting these back to the base is by leading the boat and then using the jetpack to bring the frogs with me. Yes, this is going to work way better than I thought it was going to. And so I've just got to work my way back to spawn. And there we go. I've got them all back at the base. Now the fun can actually start to begin. We can start to take these frogs off, placing them down. And what I want to do is automatically just start breeding them. And to do this, we use slime balls. And that one ended up right back in the boat. But yes, we use slime balls. We breed those 2 together. And that should produce the spawn. Yes, it should produce this stuff right here, frog spawn. And so the goal is to get all of these guys off the boat. And I may be able to just break the boat. No, they all stack on top of each other. But I wonder, while they're stacked on top of each other, can we actually produce frog spawn? Because that would be kind of cool. I don't know if that's the case. Either way, I'm going to need as much of the frog spawn as possible, because this right here is eventually going to turn into a tadpole, and that's what we need. Now, these can take anywhere between 3 to 10 minutes, which is kind of wild. But when they do spawn, they will spawn anywhere between 2 to 5 tadpoles, which is kind of awesome. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. I've already gotten a couple that have spawned in here, and this is really hard to see. But I've got to be able to collect these guys. And we should be able to collect them in a bucket. I've just got to click on them, right? Click on them. Perfect. Oh my goodness. That is so hard to pick up. Little scoop, and boink, and another little boink. I think. Boink. Now, since it's right next to the base, we should be able to take these tadpoles and then make our way here to a frozen peaks biome, which is one of the biomes that we can actually get the green frog from. So this will give us the verdant frog, or at least it should. So I've got to lay out an area, and instead of breeding the frogs, you can just collect the tadpoles and then bring the tadpoles here. So yes, we can just make a little like pond just like this. And then now all I need to do is take, for example, 3 of these. I think I want to have 3 of each in the farm. We'll see how that goes, but we'll place this in here. And I think we can force grow this to be larger by reducing its growth time by feeding it slime balls. Yes. So we can make this so much faster on ourselves. And we can do this one at a time. So I've already got this down to under a minute on that growth timer. You can do the same thing for this one. Get that really far down and just continue this. I brought a whole bunch of slime with me to be able to do this. And yes, I am going to want 3 of each frog type. So that one's about to convert to a frog. That one is 2. And so we just need to get this final one done. And there we go. We should be able to see them transform. And the goal is, like I said, they will be different than their parents because they were raised, yes, in this biome. That is so good. There's the green variant now. And just like we did before, you are going to go into a boat. If I can get you into the boat. Perfect. All right, these last 2, 0 time, perfect. And then also you're going to go on top and you're going to go on top. Now for me right now, those two frogs are pretty easy because the biomes were rather close, but unfortunately the swamp biomes, well, they're far few and in between. But me and Eggs did make a witch farm, and we did make a nether path to be able to get to said witch farm, which means that I could just use this to potentially get the frogs back. It just might take a little bit more time than I originally anticipated. And ow. Yeah, we also would have to worry about things like this. And here we are, just like we did the other ones. We place these guys down and we set their growth timer. We lower it by feeding them. Now, by the way, you can also find these frogs in this biome. I think the frozen ones are a little bit harder to find in their biome, but you're supposed to be able to find them that spawn there. But I still think this is a much easier way after kind of looking into how we can get these. Now to get back home, I'm actually going to use a little bit of a different trick. If we can get this into water, we should be able to elytra out of the water. And elytraing out of the water will make us significantly faster than normal. We just got to get our boat in here, and we timed this just right. And instead of using jetpack, we can use the elytra. So all we got to do is basically get onto some sort of land, elytra, be in elytra mode while in the water, and then elytra out. No, our lead snapped. It should work. It definitely just takes some trial and error. Oh man, or not. Maybe if we get them moving first and then we elytra, maybe that would work. Maybe. And no. You know what though? I do have a fantastic idea. What if I get them in the air like this, and then I switch to the elytra? Oh, and then I continue flying. So I do this, and now we're gliding with them. Oh, that I think will work. And as soon as we use our rockets, they fall. Never mind. It looks like I am going to take the long journey back home. Oh man. Yep, it looks like I'm elytraing. I mean, we could have used a happy gas, but that also means I would have had to have gotten the happy gas all the way over here. And that was quite the journey, but I did manage to get my frogs here, and that's all that matters. After getting the frogs back, now I've got to figure out how am I going to get them into the nether. I mean, this shouldn't be too hard to do. I think we can just pull this whole thing in. Aha, yes. And I think they're all through. Did they all make it through? Oh, they're dying. They're dying. Oh, I lost all of my frogs, but 2 of them. Well, that was quite unfortunate because these were the frogs I wanted the most. Oh, if anything was a bummer, that's a bummer. I can only send like 2 at a time as of right now. Something like that. Then I just need to land these guys safely down here somewhere. I think this is probably going to be fine. And then pull them off one at a time. And they should be fine just to be placed down here. Like they're just going to, like that one should see that that exists there and immediately start producing Froglights. Wait, oh, thankfully, like I didn't lose all my frogs. Oh, they actually just made it out here instead. Okay, that's good. Okay, so what I need to do now is still try to get them in. Oh, I think they just went through the portal. Actually, I do need them. Oh, I thought I lost them all, but I didn't. Okay. So, boat, just all of you get in the boat. Don't jump in the fire. Don't do that. I think there was 3 of them, right? There was several of them. Getting them into the boat is the hard part. Oh, don't jump in the fire. You know what? I only lost, I think, 2 of them in total. So, you know what? I'll take this. I was a little sad that I didn't have them all, but now, you know, we'll have 4, which will be more than the other 3 that we'll have for the other set. So beautiful. Here's our green frogs. And this right here is our pearlescent frogs. And there we go. All of the frogs are now inside of the farm. So the only thing left to do is to place the floor in, and I'm just using strip spruce logs for this, which I think will look pretty good. And yeah, mobs should be able to spawn on this, no problem whatsoever. And there we go. So one other thing left to do for this farm, and that is we need a standing platform. Now that spawning platform needs to be a give or take like 128 blocks from the main floor here. Really from the ground level, 128 blocks would be good. So I'm gonna take this up until I start seeing them spawn, which we should notice almost right away. We should definitely start noticing them spawn, like even 64 blocks up, so we should be fine. But if you go high enough to where mobs can't spawn down there, you should be good. And especially if you built in an area where the mobs under this can't really spawn anywhere, then you're going to be really good. And notice already there are magma cubes spawning. But I mean, just look at how effective this is. With me standing all the way up there, this farm is quite absurd in its effectiveness. Now my iron golems, they did start to take a little bit of damage, and I thought I had completely kind of removed that, but all I had to do was add these chains right here, all in the corners. I did have to use a piston to get them in since I already had the iron golems in here, but it is these right here, very specific on the corners along with the ones at the top, that are helping to prevent these guys from taking damage, which is kind of interesting. And you notice like they're not taking damage at all, but they're still able to hit them, which is exactly what we need. So now it's the moment of truth. For my first ever Froglight farm, how is it doing? I'd have to say pretty well, and it seems pretty balanced too. I do want more of the ochre Froglights because I do think those are also going to be more valuable to everyone, so having more of them is going to definitely be a necessity. But I love this. Oh, this is going to be so good. And what I could do is even add another vault here and here and have a little conveyor line that is just essentially sending it to the other vaults to split up the 3 different types. Now this setup right here is very much using vanilla mechanics, but I was thinking, wouldn't there be a way to do this with Create probably more efficiently? I mean, all we would need is fans to blow them into the center and then have some sort of water wheel spinny thing that is just basically annihilating these guys and spinning to be able to knock them into the smaller version. But I guess in reality, this is just so much simpler to do, and they're already attracted to the iron golem, so there's no need for fans or anything like that. I mean, it just works, and this is a really good farm. Now with the Froglight farm up and running and AFK just a little bit, I now have enough supplies to sell, but I did get back and I noticed that Beardstone has started to align our bridge, which means, bridge incoming very, very soon. And I can't wait to do this project with Beardstone. But speaking of projects, we have a shop to build. Now back into the shopping area, there's a lot I've got to get done. So nobody has cleared out this village, so that's going to be my first task. Now that is much, much better. So much more space to decorate in. Now, next on the to-do list, I've got to get a path laid out. Yes, a path that is going to ultimately be sort of a shopping market face, or at least mine will be the start of it. I really can't control what everyone else does, so maybe people will expand off of it. Who knows? And with the pathing done, it's time for me to lay out the foundation area. This is coming along way nicer than I thought it was going to, but now I've got to actually get the shop made. So I have the foundation and I've already shared it with everyone else that they can use this space too. Once I get this shop in, they can start to extend off of here and add their own shops to the whole thing. And so we'll have shops facing this way. And then on this side, we have areas for shops facing out this direction. For this shop, I want to go with an industrial overhang building where it is going to be rather skinny on the actual inner wall, but the outside is going to reach almost up to the actual pathway for the buildings themselves. And then I want the overhang to extend all the way out technically into the road. You know what? Instead of me just gabbing about what I'm going to build, how about you just watch it happen? And so we have ourselves a building. Yes, a building that is going to be a shop. And you know what? In this building, I might sell more than just Froglights. Who knows? For the setting up of the shop, first thing we do need is a place, well, for people to buy the things, which is going to be right here. And I think I want to carry on the tradition of the mall where ultimately we have a single funnel that gives us our items and drops it just right on our head. All we need to do is place a chute like right here so that when we purchase it, the items will get dropped right here. Now, figuring out where all of our items are coming from, well, that's a problem in its own self. What I'm thinking is we can have some stalls right in here for people to buy things, but up top, what we can do is make this another sales floor where they can purchase things up here. But the main floor up here is where our vaults are going to hold all of our items. Now, I was thinking who would be a good shopkeeper, and I know just the person, Sir Oinky. Yes, now that I have Sir Oinky over here, it should be pretty easy for me to go ahead and get all of these vaults laid in. I wanted to dye them, which I did get done, and I've already got the layout set. So as soon as I get the vaults in, I can get the packager set up, and then I can get the stocks on them, and this allows me to make the shop. So on the back of all of my vaults here, I'm going to place a packager, and then ultimately I am going to need chutes that lead out the bottom to take the packages all the way down there. And then we got to get our network set up, so I'm going to make sure to have all of these linked to the same network, like so. And with that done, we can just connect the stock ticker to all of these and get them placed down in the station. And I plan on this thing being like right here, for example. And with that done, I can take Sir Oinky, and what I want to do is kind of scale Sir up a little bit, probably to that size. I think that would be pretty good, so long as Sir Oinky doesn't suffocate whenever I place him on this seat over here. Let's just make sure. Oh, nope, he definitely does suffocate. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, Sir Oinky's gone. Well, that was unfortunate. Good thing I have a replacement. Sir Oinky V2. Yes, and I did scale him up, but didn't take him up higher than just one time. So it's like 1.25 times. Okay, so this should work. And place you here. Oh, that is so good. And now for the fun part. I've just got to get a chute that is running up all the way through here. And thankfully, we can just kind of curve these any which direction we want, which is kind of cool. So I can lead them all down into the central one. To do this, by the way, it is best to kind of have an idea of how you want it lined up. So that means I need to go roughly to about here and then start to branch up like so until that one is connected. And then this one needs to go down, I think, one more over. And so I've just got to bring this one over and over and over and over until that connects up. Perfect. And then basically the exact same thing here. We've got to make sure at ground level, this reaches all the way up. So I think this one has to go right about here. Perfect. Then all of that is linked together and ultimately ends up down here. Now, all of the packages end up going into the packager, which should unpackage it into the barrel, and then the chute will drop it onto you. I think this is going to work out really well. I have my stalls right here for now for Froglights, but I don't have the items in just yet. I've got to get an unloader. And then upstairs, I have room for even more shops. So the goal is to just use this storage to just sell a lot of things that I end up producing over time. Maybe even include some things that the mall produces. Before I do all of that, there is still one thing I want to include onto the side, and that is some Nixie tubes off the front. And I think I can have it say like shop here and have it say something like this, or maybe I can do all caps. So shop here. And then if we click this onto here, yes, it should update the sign. And look at that, it says shop here. That is so good. I also included, by the way, the OG counter here that allows me to count with our counter gauge and just essentially counting the redstone pulses from the andesite funnels that are falling down through the smart observer, which sends to that redstone link, which is beautiful. And I absolutely love this system, and being able to see how many purchases have happened, it is really satisfying to me. So now there's just about one more thing left to do before we can actually get the Froglights in, that is. And that is, well, we need an unloader and loader system for all of our backpacks and getting items into our vaults. Now the unloader station is going to look a little bit like this. So we can actually run these item drains down underneath here, which will allow me to extend all the way out. Then I just need a funnel on here, and then we skip the funnel on this side and make sure that has one, and then also onto this. Then I can give myself some scaffold here. This is going to be for placing our backpacks in. And then we can take an empty backpack, for example, this one right here, which shouldn't have anything in it, like that. And then I can add my brass funnels. So brass funnels are going to go here, and these are going to be pulling out of the bag. So just like this, and then also this one is going to be pulling out, and so they'll be pulled out at the same time. And then same on this side right here. So this is a really convenient unloader system. It'll unload a stack at a time. In this case, we'll make sure to fill these two vaults first, and then this would be our final reserve vault. Now for the loader at our farm, it's basically the same thing, just opposite. So yes, very, very convenient. All I have to do on this is like, I could just place, I don't know, right here, for example, and we'll drag this out. Let's just do out to here. Perfect. And then a couple of item drains will lead into the backpack. And then what we need to do is have the andesite funnel lead into this, making sure that's the right way. Perfect. And then also the unloader is going to pull from here. And so that's just going to send everything into our backpack. And that didn't take super long. And here is all of our loot, like 5,000, yeah, 7,000 of the lights that I really like, and then 5,000 of the other ones, which seems perfectly reasonable. And I AFK'd for a very short period of time in here. Now I'm just going to get it into the loader, and man, this is so good looking now. And this should be really fast at unloading because we're going to have two sides here unloading the bag. It's yeah, very quick. Another really fast way to load would be to use a package unloader, much like I use for my storage systems, because that can unload 9 stacks at a time. The only thing left to do is to choose my price, and I'm thinking 1 stack for 1 diamond seems super reasonable. Even though I can farm a whole lot of these, it seems super reasonable for how much it requires to set a farm like this up. So yeah, 1 diamond. I still think that's, I don't know. I still also feel like I'm being stingy here. I don't know. Also, you just don't use these super often. I don't know. You can always let me know down in the comments if you think that these are too expensive. This has been such a fun thing to build, I tell you what. And I'm pretty excited to see if others expand and build off of this building. Like, that's sort of the idea here, is for others to build maybe a shop right here, build a shop on the other side, leave this section be a back alley, and then other shops facing this way or what have you be built beside it. So we have this like little shopping area. I think that would be really, really cool. And if nobody else does, I mean, I definitely will. But you know what? Today was quite the long episode, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I tell you what, without further ado, it's now time for me to thank the amazing supporter that makes this episode possible. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Demon Gaming. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting my content in one of the best ways possible. And man, my throat is incredibly sore after recording today's episode, but I look forward to seeing you in more episodes. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.